Because joining us now live, I am pleased to say, is Dr. Jill Biden. She served as second lady while her husband was vice president. Democrats fervently hope that in a matter of months, she will be the next first lady of the United States. Dr. Biden, you have every option in the world of where to be right now. Thank you so much for making time to be here with us.
No, thank you for the invitation to be with you.
Well, you know, I was thinking about your political life as a non-politician, but as somebody who has been through all of it. You have been through the lesser iterations of this before. You have been at your husband's side as he ran for president before, with him through Barack Obama choosing him as his running mate, and that campaign and the re-election campaign, all the conventions that's brought you to over the years. How different is this now? I mean, now that he is the nominee, now that you may very well be first lady, how different is this?
You know, this is really different, and it's really exciting. And you're right. You know, it just wasn't the right time before, but this time feels different. So many people kept coming up to me. I mean, I have to say, we did not plan on running, but after this president was elected, so many people came up to me and kept saying, Jill, Joe has to run. He has to run. And then Charlottesville happened, and this president said there were good people on both sides, and Joe just couldn't hear that. And so we decided to run.
Do you agree with some of the starkness of the warnings that we have heard this week, for example, from both Michelle and Barack Obama during this convention? The former First Lady warning it can and will get much worse than it is now if he is reelected. The former president flat out warning that we're at risk of losing our democracy,
yes,
depending on this. Is that the way that you think about it as well?
Yes. You know, I think what Barack and Michelle said is right. I mean, things could get much worse. We can't take 4 more years. So, you know, Joe is going to lead us in a new direction. And that's what people have to think about. His type of leadership, you know, he'll lead with empathy, and he'll just be a much stronger president, and kindness and compassion. You know, Joe knows what it's like his father lost his job. Joe understands that. His parents couldn't pay for the college that he wanted to go to. Joe understands that. And you know the tragedy and the loss that Joe and our family has been through. And with so many people dealing with loss during this time of the pandemic, they will have a president in Joe Biden who knows what loss feels like and who will be empathetic.
Dr. Biden, thank you so much for being here. I used to call my mom Doc because she was also an educator and with a PhD. And so I want to talk to you about the venue that you chose for your speech when you were speaking to the American people and introducing yourself. You know, teachers and students and parents of students are very traumatized and scared right now. It's a really difficult time to decide what you're going to do with your kids because of COVID. How much do you think that that former Vice President Biden needs to convey that sense? You know, is this going to be more about comforting the American people, inspiring the American people, or really speaking directly to those kinds of fears, especially, you know, the fears of teachers and school staffs and parents?
Well, you know, Joe is going to be all of those, because Joe will have a strategy to lead us forward, and he's already working on that strategy. And this pandemic has just pointed out so many inequities in education. That's why I chose to go back. That was my original classroom at Brandywine High School. And that's why I chose to go back there, because so many educators and students are calling me and saying, what do we do? What do we do? People are feeling so anxious, but we have to listen to the experts and the doctors. And when they say it's safe to go back, we'll go back. Listen, nobody wants to be in the classroom more than educators. I can tell you that from my own experience. I can't wait to get back. But we have to be careful. We have to be safe. There's nothing more precious to us than America's children.
Dr. Biden, I know from working for President Bush that the attacks on a candidate or an office holder are most acutely felt by the people who love them most. And Donald Trump got impeached over his effort to take your husband and smear your family and weaken your husband politically. How are you going to protect your family and yourself next week?
You know, we knew this was going to happen. These are all distractions. When we decided to run, we knew this was going to be part of the campaign. But I looked at Joe and I said, Joe, we've been through the worst thing that could ever happen to us. And so, you know, we have strong shoulders. And going forward, Joe's just going to talk about the future and what he's going to do and his plans. So Donald Trump, what he's trying to get, you know, to distract the American public from the issues that Joe is going to put forth.
Dr. Biden, I have one last question for you, and I'm not sure how I would answer it if somebody asked me this about my partner. But what's he like on a big night like this? What's it like between the two of you? What's it like for him personally when he knows he's going to have a landmark moment tonight? This will be one of the nights of his life after so many decades in public service. What's he like under this kind of pressure and big events?
You know, Joe, I just left him. He's at home. He's out on the porch with our grandkids. He's doing what he loves. He's relaxed. He's confident. You know, Joe knows who he is. He knows where he knows his vision. He knows where he wants to take the country. Joe will be a very confident president.
Dr. Jill Biden, the former Second Lady of the United States, potentially the next First Lady of the United States. Dr. Biden, thank you so much for taking time to talk to us on such a big night. You could be anywhere. We're really glad that you're here. Enjoy this evening. Thank you.
Thanks. Enjoy Joe's speech. Thank you.
We will. Thank you.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.